All right, so I got some breaking news. So it turns out I emailed what appears to be what I thought two former ex-close friends, right? Currently on my ex-close friend memorial wall, and just a few minutes ago, one of the ex-close friends that I emailed was Lovely Mhel. Fundal. Yep, Popster. Has met Sarah a few times. I've seen her in one of the Popster groups. She lives in Canada, Vancouver to be exact. And this is gonna be a special, I guess you can call it my friendship with topic. Just after I did me and Mary yesterday. So as for this one, first of all, this is breaking news, and I just want to say, Lovely Mhel did respond to my email, and hey, she wants me back on Facebook. Yep, that's what Mari told me before I emailed her, before I emailed Mel. Yeah, she does want me back on Facebook. Now, prior to our rough friendship to where I thought it ended, she had already unfriended me because she made it clear to me saying that she was done. She wanted to end this friendship for good because apparently I didn't have the same understanding level as she did, or she does, as far as what she's going through and all that, right? And look, I don't blame her for saying that. I get where she's coming from as to why she felt that way, right? That's because, all these years and with all the drama that I've thrown out, especially on my posts and even to her by a bunch of messages, right? I can understand why she got completely annoyed. And so that warranted her to say that. So I get where she's coming from and why she said that, although I somewhat disagree as far as she thought that I didn't understand her, but I do get where she's coming from and why she would say that to me. Prior to where she said she was going to end our friendship by saying, my friendship with you, I'm done. I'm going to end my friendship with you. This was on, if I'm not mistaken, I think I remember the date correctly, August 31. That was just last year, August 31. I hung out with Anastasia that day, and while we were doing that trail in Anaheim, that's when I found out that with a bunch of her messages, she made it clear that she was that she wanted to end her friendship with me. And yeah, it was painful, but based on what our friendship was the last few years, I get it. She couldn't stand me anymore. I get it. It started to get rough. She was one of the many ex-close. Well, she was one of the many close friends that I've had. Where I've ran into these rough periods of our friendship. Angelique was another one. I emailed her this morning to see if we can work things out, but she has not responded. Now, I don't know how busy she is and all that, but I'm sure she has a very busy life now. I don't blame her one bit. But yeah, man, regarding Mel here, it's from what I heard from Mari, and because I think even when I had me and Mel on the Christmas the so-called Christmas memorial wall, ex close friends memorial wall, even Mel responded. It's like, nah, I mean, I remember her saying that we were good, all right, just yeah. I mean, I think I somewhat knew that from there when she saw my Christmas memorial wall that it sounded like she was not really fed up with me, and this was under the Zarn account, because at that time she unfriended me on my original account, and this was after she told me that she was gonna end her friendship with me, like in August, right? So, and she saw my memorial wall, the one for Christmas, and I'm trying to remember what she said in there. She's like, hey, I can't remember, but it almost sounded like to the point where she was not really fed up with me. I can't really remember the words that she said. Now, mind you, I've not been on Facebook since late January, right? So, I mean, I appreciate her wanting me back, and Mari as well, right? I gotta give it some time still, because obviously my mental health is still an issue, and the mental help that I'm getting, it's like a slow process for me right now, because first of all, it is my first time getting it, and so obviously with how my behavior patterns were in the past years, of how my negativity has been being perceived, and how my anger is being perceived. It's why it's so slow right now, because I'm trying to have a fully better understanding of it. Right now, granted, I'm currently out of these no baller group chats, for the sake of me just focusing more on being a better version of myself. The same reason why I'm out of social media in general. Look, I'm not saying I'm going to be out for forever, okay? I do, once again, I appreciate that Mel wants me back, and that's great. But as of right now, I still got to give it some time, because I know what I'm capable of. If I were to come back, then, I would hate for her and Mari and even Rika to see, like, some of the friends that are still there, even Resha and Mercy, to still see my worst. That's exactly why I stepped out of the No Ballers group chats after like almost a month, because they were still seeing that version of me, and it's just unfortunate, because they knew that it seemed like I was picking up where I left off from the group text incident. So that's why I had to do what I had to do, right? So I had to, to step out again. But I'm not doing what I did like toward the end of January. Oh, hell no. I'm not going to do that anymore. Although I almost did, okay? I'll be willing to admit that I almost did again. Just, when was it? Like the day before the 4th of July, I almost did it. But I'm glad I did not, okay? How do you think those guys would feel if I did it again? I'm just deciding to stay out of these group chats right now, because it's so tempting that every time I'm having a bad day in my dump because of that company president, well, it's like I need to do myself a favor and just give them their piece, right? So getting back to our friendship here, me and Mel. Okay, look, I've known her since what, 2015. It's gonna be exactly 10 years in December, because I met her in December. She's one of the sweetest people I've met. She's very kind. She's very humble, and I know she goes through a whole lot. She's going through a whole lot, and I totally understand her situation. And look, I know that I've been a total. How do you put this? Like, I know I've been a total big baby myself as well, in the sense that I've annoyed her a whole lot. Now look, that doesn't mean that she was gonna, like, because I never insulted her in a way that like, to the point like I did with Rhea, as to why me and Rhea's friendship ended that way, right? But she was just very, very much annoyed because, yes, I overreacted. I'll be willing to admit, because of a lot of what I said, right? And seemingly, like, over some of the little things like Facebook and all that. Well, guess what? I found a new satisfaction to numbers, getting my own numbers, and that's coming from my basketball shoot-around seasons. Especially when it comes to my 3-point numbers. Okay, so let's not forget the one thing that Mel did for me. As we have another opportunity to reunite our friendship. This is the one thing I'll never forget about Mel. What she did for me, as far as her being the special friend that she is. The fact that she helped me to see Sarah in person. No, not for the actual concert, but to see her at the LAX. She actually gave me all that info. The time of the flight, the arrival time of supposedly Sarah's flight. And so guess what? I got the balls after work to just head straight to the airport and waited for her. I think I had to wait for like a couple of hours or so, but I didn't mind. And from there, me and Mel were actually FaceTiming, and she wanted to see if Sarah was already there. And I said, and we were just talking for a little bit, and then I'm trying to remember what time I was there. I think I was there like past 6, or actually no. So I actually was there, I think, like by 7 or a little past 7. Because here's what happened. After work, I waited for Ernie, because at that time, Ernie would ask me to often, give him rides to the train station. And so that day, it was one of those days. Actually, did I drop him off to the train station that time? No, I think I dropped him off to his home. I think. I could be wrong. Or actually, no. I actually dropped him off to his bus station. Because there was a few times where I actually dropped off Ernie to his bus station. That was closer to his home. Because I think it was off at the 105, I think. And so I think I did that. So after work, I waited for Ernie. And then once he came along, I drove us off the 105, and I think I dropped him off to his bus station right there. So yeah, like after that, I went after I dropped him off, then I went straight to the destination, the LAX, that is. So I parked wherever. It has to be at the arrival, not for the departure, but the arrival part. That's like the bottom lot, if I'm not mistaken. So I did that, and then that's when me and Mel, we FaceTimed. And so I think I was there, if I'm not mistaken, by 7 or a little past that. I can't really remember the time now, but I know I was there like around then, and I waited a while. I think I was like an hour and a half, and then when 8:30 struck, that's when I saw Sarah, and boy, oh boy, I got the perfect selfie. I know she was in sunglasses, but I could have asked her to take them off so that people can actually recognize her more with those eyes. She's got nice eyes. Just as pretty as herself. You know what I'm saying? Her whole body, but anyways, so getting back to this moment, this is what I'll never forget for Mhel, what she did for me. All right, that showed her why she was in the top tier of when it comes to Hall of Fame friends, and to this day, she still belongs in that top tier. So I'm never gonna forget that. And I even said it in some of my shout outs that, I was gonna treat her to lunch if we ever meet in person. There's been a couple of times already where she came to LA, or here in SoCal, and we tried, but nothing happened. We weren't able to meet up at all. I'm pretty sure now that we've reunited our friendship, maybe now there will be a chance, but who knows? Because now she's gonna have a much busier life. She's got 2 kids now. So just imagine how much more hectic that her current chapter is, or I guess you could say the next chapter of her life. Being the mother that she is. So, anyways, Mhel and I had a couple of video chats, and it's cool and all that. We share the same time zone. We are in Canada's just right above the U.S. So, we've had some pretty good conversations. She's definitely one of the most caring people, and I know now that she's a mother of 2 kids. She just had one recently. She told me on the email on May 28th that her second child was born. So now she's got 2 kids to deal with. I understand her life's going to be a whole lot busier being a mother, and because she's got a family of her own, and that's amazing for her, because she's basically in a new chapter of her life. So I wish her nothing but the best, and I know this is more like a breaking news story, but I just want to reflect on our friendship and where we stand with it. Obviously now it's officially back on. So, I'm glad to see that she responded to my email and she's willing to give me another chance. But first and foremost, as I made it clear to her that I gotta improve my mental health, because I don't want her, even Mari, and this goes for every single friend, including the nutballers, that they're going to continue to see the worst version of me like I was the last few years. So I know what I'm capable of as far as like going through this mental health process. But for the most part, I'm being patient with it. I know what I'm still going through and all that, and for my sake, and only being able to control my job situation, in which it's been pretty tough for the last few months, even though I've been really active. So yeah, for the most part, me and Mhel are, not that we haven't really talked, but this is like the first time that she's reached out to me, because I emailed her and she responded back. So another opportunity is coming, as far as reconnecting our friendship. But, as of right now, I think I'm best off to just, go through email and YouTube, and obviously on text if I want to do hangouts with some of my friends like Julio or Carlos, Abbas, Russ, Dewey, etc. So this is all I'm going to talk about, and I hope that our friendship will strengthen. It'll get better, but of course she needs to see me get better first mentally, before I know that, before she can see me at my worst again. All right, peace out, everyone. We'll talk to you guys later.